Welcome to Purpose After Sports, where we interview athletes to share their post sport journeys and explore how they are reinventing what it means to compete. Today, I am here with Addison Stoller. She is a Valpo women's basketball alum and now is a functional health practitioner and human performance coach. She blends science backed strategies with holistic care to help clients fix fatigue, support gut health and hormone health, and optimize performance in daily life. Addison, thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
For our listeners who don't know you or this is their first introduction, tell us a little bit about your story. How did basketball become such a big part of your life as a former Division One athlete?
Yeah, I would say I grew up playing basketball since I was little. Volleyball, soccer, things of that nature too. And then the basketball aspect just kind of took off. I got connected with some friends, started playing travel ball, and then the next thing you know, you're looking at colleges and you're like, okay, like this is actually going to happen. So that's kind of where I ended up at Valpo for basketball purposes, and then Um, I went into exercise science, things of that nature. And from there, just again, connected to people in the college field, was a strength and conditioning coach. And now I'm here, kind of working on the online remote setting. So,
So, with looking at your background, you have dabbled in a lot of different things. Were you able to still get those internships during basketball, or did you have to get creative on how you were still able to see where you wanted to go?
yeah, so when I was playing at Valpo, I was there for like all my 4 years. And I
Yeah.
actually went through and like had a torn ACL and meniscus. So I kind of went through my own personal journey with that and was really like
Yeah.
opened up to like athletic training and just like how much those people mean to people going through the rehab. I don't know if injury wise in that sort. So that's kind of where
Yeah.
I like first started like gaining more interest into the athletic training, strength and conditioning world. And then once I graduated, actually, I went to Indiana University during like mid COVID for like it was an online internship. And then I went there like the following semester. So I didn't
Mm,
have to like work outside of basketball. I was
yeah.
like, unfortunately had my ACL, but that also gave me like a deeper dive into like an internship in a sense with myself. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so.
What looking back on Valpo, what do you think shaped you the most? Was it injury? Was it something else that kind of guided you into the career path you're in now?
Yeah, I would definitely say injury for sure. And then being like a female student athlete, not to get like too personal too fast, but like I, my hormones and everything were so messed up. Like I didn't have a cycle for 2 years while playing competitively, which is not
Wow.
normal.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
and so between like my ACL and like just health reasons, that's kind of what led me into where I'm at now. I
Uh-huh.
originally was like, I'm just gonna be a strength coach at a college. And I love that side of it. Like I love walking with athletes on their journey. Um,
Mhm.
but then as I got older and I was like, okay, but I also need to get down to the root of like why is my health like this? That's kind of where that functional health kind of came together in those two pieces. So,
When you were going through those times of not really knowing what was going on,
mhm.
did you guys have a nutritionist on campus or were you able to open up and talk to somebody about that?
Yeah, I had Valpo's Division One, but it's like smaller, mid major. So we didn't have like a ton of resources outside of that. But I had an athletic trainer that I really talked to a lot to try to help with me.
Yeah,
Um, and then we didn't really have any like dietitians that were like well versed in that field of it. So I ended
gotcha.
up just having to like reach out to doctors and try to like figure it out um,
Yeah.
on my own. And that was just a whole journey in itself. But we're here, we're better now. So I guess it works out.
And now you get to help others.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, when stepping into life after sports, were you ready for that journey? What was the hardest part for you?
Yeah, I will say, so I graduated college in 2020. When did you graduate?
2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like it was mid-COVID, we were at our tournament and our tournament got shut down. So that in and of itself is just probably like a mental block that is hard to get through because you're kind of
Yeah.
like cut off and we didn't get to finish our season. Um, So I had a 5th year, but I didn't take it. I chose to leave and go to Indiana University and just trust God with whatever he was gonna lead me to.
Yeah.
Um, so it was definitely hard, like, probably one of the hardest things that you go through and just trying to figure out, like, "Okay, is this the right decision? Did I make the right decision?" Like, how do you know? And it was a back and forth battle for a long time. Um, but then, like, after I had left and, got that internship at IU, things just kind of, like, started to, like, be like, "Okay, like, this was my decision, now I'm just going to stay with it, and see where it leads," and it's opened a lot of doors now that I'm realizing it was, like, worth it at that moment. So,
Yeah.
it's definitely hard, but
With I love your outlook on it now. Can you talk to me about what it was like in that moment? Were there mental ups and downs, or maybe things you didn't even realize until now you look back that it was like, oh, it was harder? Or was it an easier transition once you realized you were making these decisions for yourself?
yeah, I mean, there's lots of tears, obviously,
Yeah.
because you're just hanging up something that you, like, poured your whole heart into.
Yeah.
Um, so I confided and I talked with a lot of people, that were, like, near me and that I respected their opinions on. Um, but there was a lot of ups and downs. I think my coach even was like, "Take 3 months, take the summer, think about it, do what you want." So there was just it was just a lot going on, and, like, hearing all the different opinions was great. But then you get in your own head too of, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, it's just a hard place to be.
Yeah.
Um, so it was definitely a battle. But, like, again, once I made that decision, I just kinda had to move with it and, like, trust that that was the right one, so
Do you think that you struggled with losing the structure or maybe identity at all? Or you were more focused on that internship and engulfed in that?
yeah, I definitely think just, like, not being a basketball player and then, like, watching my teammates still continue to play afterwards and I wasn't there anymore, like, it's definitely hard, and, I'm from a small town and things of that nature, so, like, people kind of know you as, "Oh, you played basketball," and now I'm like, "I did, yes, and now I'm
Yeah.
here." So, it's yeah, it's trying to find something else, and not even something else, but just, like, who you are outside of it. Like, sports and everything is great, and I love them, and I think they're amazing, but it's very easy to get trapped into it, and definitely
Mhm.
figuring out how to, like, get yourself out of that. Um, but yeah, the identity aspect was hard, and then, when I was at IU and I still had, like, technically, like, a 5th year, I was like, "I could still be playing, like, these girls are practicing, and I'm just here."
Yeah.
Um, so it was a lot to work through, and, I actually I think it was my junior year, I went on a have you heard of Athletes in Action?
No. No.
It's like a mission-based organization, but they do a bunch of, like, sport trips with
Okay.
different college athletes, so, like, if you were playing basketball, you could join a group and go overseas and play basketball and, like, essentially share the message of Jesus.
Okay.
Um, and so with that, I think if I wouldn't have had that, I think finding my identity after sport would have been a lot harder.
Mm.
So that's kinda like my personal story, whether anyone's religious or not, but, like, if I didn't have that faith aspect in my story, I think finding my identity, I don't know how I would have done it personally.
Yeah.
Um, but that trip along with, like, everything else I went through, just really, like, solidified, like, your my worth and my value after basketball. So,
I love that perspective, and I
yeah.
really like how you tiptoed on the idea of introducing yourself because I think introductions, when you're coming back from being an athlete so long, and it's just people's natural instinct. They know you
Mhm.
as that player, or maybe you're meeting someone for the first time, and you're just so used to, oh yeah, I play basketball, and you're like,
Hmm.
oh wait, no, I don't, or oh, I'm I guess I kind of am an athlete, but like, what do you? And it's just like that little part of you, whether it's a little bit of ego, it's so much pride, it's like,
Mhm.
now how do I introduce myself with still that same amount of pride, but it's just in a different way now,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. No, it's definitely hard, especially everything today, I feel like, is very, like, sport focused and things of that, so, yeah.
so if you could go back to your first year self post-sport, is there any advice that you would have given yourself in those moments now?
I think it's hard. I think it could probably go 2 ways of, like, yeah, you coulda taken your 5th year and you would've been okay.
Yeah,
Or it could've been, like, you it's just yeah, because the connections I have now, a lot of them are from my internship. So, like, also in the fact of, like, you trusted your gut and you went with it and you were bold and different, like, it was worth
yeah,
it and it paid off. So, yeah, I would say just to tell myself to continue trusting my heart, and don't let, like, other people's opinions, like, distract you from your mission, I guess. So,
that's good. I like that one.
yeah.
Okay, so let's get into what you do now. What sparked your interest in functional health and human performance? Was it, your own experience you shared a little bit about, or even
Yeah.
teammate?
Yeah. I would say I would say a little bit of both now that you kinda bring up, like, the teammate aspect of it. Definitely my own story was huge with why I went into strength and conditioning, and just being that, like, source of hope for, like, athletes struggling. Um, and then, like, the functional health piece again, just with, like, my own health and everything I went through, with my cycles and, like, some thyroid stuff, so just deep diving into that. But as a college athlete on a basketball team, like, I had so many teammates who struggled with, like, not so many teammates, but some who struggle with, like, eating disorders, things of that sort, that you're
Yeah.
like that you just see firsthand, like, how hard it is. And, like, not to say that I've never been there, like, I've been in that same shoes of the struggle, but, like, being able to be like, "Wow, like, these people have so much pressure on them, like, they need that outlet."
Mm-hmm.
And, like, to be that source and, like, to be connected with them was a huge reason, why, like, the strength and conditioning piece was so familiar because, like, you can be a coach, but you don't get the background side of it. Like,
Yeah.
as an athletic trainer, as a strength coach, sometimes you get a little bit more trust and a little bit more, like, truth. Um, and even working with the athletes I work with now today, like, you're almost like the relief valve from, like, the pressures of everything. So that's what, like, I love about what I do now and, like, being a strength coach for those athletes, almost like a mentor type of thing.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, and then the functional health piece, yeah, just kind of filled in the other half of my business, so
From which skill of being an athlete do you think shows up more or the most
mm,
in your work that you do now?
that's a good one. Um, I would probably have to say probably the passion of it, like finding something you're passionate about.
That is so good. That was a great answer.
It's
I
put me on the
I'm still
spot. I was
numb.
like, I don't know." Like, you could say work ethic and all those things, but, like,
Yeah.
you don't make it through college sports unless you're passionate about it,
Yeah.
truthfully. And, like, I hope people have the luxury and the ability to find a job that they're passionate about, because I
Mhm.
think that's what keeps you learning and keeps you growing. Like, like, what you're doing right now, like, tell me you're not passionate about this, like,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like, it's just, like, finding that passion, I think, is just huge. So that's what I would say.
No, that's a great answer. I think when you do anything for so long, like you
Mhm.
said, there's a few things that are gonna keep you in it.
Yeah.
And you gotta be passionate in some way. So that was a great answer.
Thank you.
Okay, so kind of moving backwards a little bit, if someone were hearing functional health for the first time, can you explain it to our audience in the simplest form?
Yeah, you let me know if you need simpler, because sometimes I deep dive into more, but, I would say, like, root cause healing versus Band-Aid approaches.
Okay,
So, like, getting to the why of your body is this way versus, like, here's, a steroid or here's blood pressure medicine, take this.
okay.
So that's kind of like in my sense of, like, putting a Band-Aid on it, versus, like, why is your cycles irregular? Why do you feel bloated? Why are you constipated? Why can't you lose weight? Why you always have headaches? So getting to the why of, like, that issue
Mhm.
versus just taking a Tylenol from your doctor.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
No, that was good, and that was
Okay.
simple enough for me, so I
Okay.
know the audience will understand.
Okay, good.
Um, how so with athletes,
Mhm.
we hear a lot like tired but wired zone. So how do you or athletes tell the difference between overtraining, under recovery, and just life stress. I'm sure that's something you see quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to, like, break it down, into, like, buckets. So,
Mm,
like, if they're if I mean, for anyone too, but, like, if you have a bucket and you're practicing and you're lifting and you're not sleeping well, like, you're filling your bucket up, there's nothing that's coming back in to to bring it back down. Does that make sense? So, like,
yeah,
if you
yeah.
get to a point where you're constantly, like, filling your bucket and it's overflowing, you're overtraining, you're burnt out, you're exhausted, but, like, if you can sleep and eat well and kinda take care of yourself, then you're kinda balancing it out. Um,
Mm.
I don't know if that's just, like, a picture I use with my athletes to, like, draw in their head of, like, "Hey, you need to do X, Y, and Z because your workload is so high. If you're not doing that, you're gonna just start overflowing your bucket, and you're gonna be at a breaking point." So
No, that was a great way to describe it. It's because athletes specifically can relate a lot to it. We see with the research they can sometimes never detect
mhm,
burnout because we're
right.
constantly in that overfill state like you were
Mhm.
describing. And so the first time I realized burnout was after sports. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is what that I was dealing with. But you have that little bit of passion, like in sports, and it was all normal. Like I was
Yeah,
like,
you
oh,
push
this is
through.
used to, yeah, this is
Mhm.
I'm doing something I love. I'm maybe getting a little school is paying. It's all worth it, right?
Right,
So,
right.
um, but then you get out of sports and like, whoa, and like you said, your example, well, nothing else is balancing. Now I can't sleep.
Mhm.
Now I'm either too hungry and not hungry enough, and so it's not bringing those things down. I'm having these aha moments, like
I'm
we need you
good.
on more, Addison. This is
I'm
great.
good, I'm
Okay.
glad.
Okay. So before you talk lab or supplements, what is non-negotiable or like fundamental things that you would say could help sleep or nutrition or timing? Not to give too many of your secrets, but is there
Yeah, no.
something you would give right away?
Yeah, I would say so, like, with the work, like, if you're in a sense, working with me, like, I'm tackling the foundational level. So, are we eating whole foods?
Mm,
Are you getting movement? And, like, for sleep specifically, like, I love morning walks because you're getting that sunshine, and that helps set your sleep cycle.
yeah.
So that's huge. And then just hydration a lot of times, electrolytes, things of that sort is just easy ways, to hydrate your cells. Not to
Hmm.
be too scientific with that, but, um and then just, like, stress management, I feel like a lot of us come off of basketball or whatever your sport was, and you're wired and you can't like, you're just searching for things. And so,
Yes.
like
Yes.
yes, so working on that stress, like, whether it's deep breathing, cold plunges, like, humming, singing, stuff like that, helps calm your body down. Um, and so doing some of that stuff, like, before bed is super beneficial, um, just because it kinda calms your system down and helps you with that. So, again, just kinda, like, laying down foundations, of just, like, nutrition, movement, and then stress management, I think are 2 key ones. So
This is good. I'm learning kind of like why I do some of the things I do, and I
mhm.
sing or hum to myself a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And, this makes a lot of sense. It was like, what's the word? It was calming to me, but now it makes sense, like,
Mhm,
why I do it. Like, my body needs some type of way to calm itself down because I am too the person that, "Oh, there's a free gap in my I can fill that." Or I get a task done on my checklist. "Oh, now I can add 6 more things to it."
mhm.
And sitting in silence, I call it, or nothingness
Yeah,
is one of the things at my age I still constantly work on because it's
yeah.
like, it is okay not to do,
Do
even if I
yeah.
turn on the TV. I'm like, okay, I can get this thing done while the TV's in the
Yeah,
background. And I'm like,
exactly.
that's not why you turn on the TV,
Yeah,
Mick.
yeah, yeah,
Ooh, so
yeah.
things I
Have
need to
you
work on too. Are
yeah.
there things that you have noticed that you take from your own educational background too?
Like, in regards of, like, what do I do specifically, or
Yeah, like, did you notice that burnout was a struggle or, like, something that you're like, "Okay, this is what I need to implement," or maybe it was sleep or something like that?
yeah, yeah, I think burnout was huge, especially because in the strength and conditioning world, when I was in it, like, you were grinding constantly,
Yeah.
and then working at a gym and growing a business, like, you're, again, grinding constantly. So there's definitely a lot of burnout, and I almost got to the point where, like, my body would, like, break down, like, every
Mm.
couple months just because I was, like, doing too much, but thankfully now I've gotten to the point where I've been able to manage it better, and so, like, the breath work, humming, stuff like what you said, like, I love doing it, and have you ever tried an acupressure mat? It's like a little mat with, like, little
No.
pricks on it, so I will say, like, I struggle, like, if I'm laying on my bed, like, trying to relax, like, I'll grab my phone or I'll turn the TV on, but, like, if I'm laying on my acupressure mat, like, I am forced to relax because it's uncomfortable, but in a good way of it helps your body, like, just decompress. You should try one. I'm not saying it's gonna be comfortable the first few times, but I personally do love them a lot, so
Where can you just, like, order them off Amazon or
yeah, they have, like, ones on Amazon, and then obviously they have, like, more expensive ones online, but I just have one off of Amazon. So,
how amazing.
yeah, you
This might
should
actually be good.
you might like it, but if you don't, I'm sorry.
She said it wasn't my idea if you
No,
don't
not
like
my
it.
idea, cut it.
No, I am willing to try because that is my thing because I learned this too going through my master's of being in acute stress all the time.
Mhm.
And I'm sure you've researched that and know a little bit about that. But then when you're in that state constantly, and then when you're out of stress, you feel like you should be happy or like things are good. But actually, you go through like, like you're worse than when you were in the acute
Yeah,
stress. And
yeah,
so then it's natural for me to be in acute stress all the time because then I'm like, okay, at least I feel like I know I'm good. I know I'm
mhm,
stressed, but like, because the afterwards, then everything is processing and you're just like in a worse. So it's like
mhm,
I'm finding that
yeah,
balance.
yeah, yeah, it's just like, taking vacations and going on vacation, like, you can't, like, sit still because you think you constantly need to be doing something
Yes.
all the time, and so many of my college teammates feel that same way, so it's just figuring out how to, like, break that code,
Mm-hmm.
and get through it, so,
I'd agree.
yeah.
This is good for me.
I'm
Okay.
glad.
These next two questions are partly because of me, but also I think our audience will benefit. We normalize stomach issues under stress a lot,
Mhm,
and not to give, there are some things that can be stress induced that are bigger issues, but
of
are
course.
there things out there that can be a simple fix that you notice or recommend a lot with being under high stress situations, whether in sport or out?
Yeah, um, I think it comes back to just, like, grounding yourself somewhere, whether that's, like, doing something to calm yourself down, but I definitely think, like, stomach issues, things of that is stress induced, and sometimes it does require, like, further insight,
Hmm.
or some people are like, "I'll just take a probiotic and call it
Yeah.
good," which is fine in a sense, but a lot of the times, like, the clients I've worked with and myself personally with the stomach and, like, gut issues is, like, a lot of time you sometimes you have overgrowth of bacteria, like an overgrowth in your gut, and people are taking
Mm.
probiotics to help that, and they're actually just making it worse. Or they're
Mm.
drinking kombucha because it's healthy and they're
Yeah.
just making it worse. So quick fixes, things that I like, I love castor oil if you have like stomach gut issues.
Mm.
It's like a new little it's like my favorite brand is Queen of Thrones, but you just, like, place it over your liver, or I use it a lot, over my, like, lower abdomen for hormone support and, like, cycle support.
Okay.
So that's just a super, like it's not a quick fix, but, like, it's if someone's struggling with something and they need some support, I do recommend that one. Granted, none of this is, like, medical advice by any means.
Yes.
Um, but castor oil packs, aloe vera juice. I don't know if you have, like if people are dealing with, like, any sort of, like, constipation, things of that sort, or, like, gut pain, just a little bit of that because it can have a laxative effect, but aloe vera juice, I take, like, a shot every morning, and I love it. Um, so there's
Mm.
so many different things that I could recommend in a sense.
Yeah.
Belly massages might be a little weird, but, like, just massaging your belly. Um, yeah. So whether it's, like, stomach, gut, they're kind of, like, all in the same, but
Yeah.
so, yeah.
I like that. Okay. This one is really specific to me. I have a
You're
sweet tooth,
good.
okay?
Uh-huh.
Um, how do you structure things, and maybe it might not just be a sweet tooth, but meals so cravings calm down without making it feel restrictive? Because we'll get into some life after sports and how our body changes, but um, some things I've always had. I've always had a sweet tooth, and
Yeah.
like I like incorporating it in healthier ways and finding new recipes, but
Mhm.
also then you feel like sometimes I want to have a brownie.
Right, like, it's not satisfying enough.
Right, right.
Yeah, no, I got you. A lot of the times I would, like my first thing would be, like, I ask myself, like, "Am I eating enough during the day, like, enough protein and fat to, like,
Yeah.
satisfy those cravings?" Um, and then if you are, it's like, um, at the same time, having, like, a brownie is better like, having one, like, really good brownie is better off than having 50 healthy ones that don't satisfy you. Does that make sense?
Oh,
Like,
yes,
that's like, if
yes.
I want ice cream, I will go get ice cream versus, like, making fake ice cream that just didn't do anything. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, so that's just, like, the surface level stuff, and then, like, a lot of people actually who, like, struggle severely with, like, sweet cravings, like, will run a GI map test, which is a stool test, and a lot of
Okay.
times, like, their overall, like, gut health will be, o either, like, overgrown or depleted, or things
Ah,
like candida, which is just like a gut health marker of
okay.
bacteria and things, can be elevated. And so, like, there's always a reason to why. Like, I personally, like, I feel bad for, like, when you're struggling with sweet cravings, like, a lot of it's like, I need to do better. Like, why am I doing this? Like, it's a lot of negative self talk with it. But, like,
Yeah.
99% of the time, like, there's something going on that's triggering your body to have that reaction. I
Mm.
almost guarantee it. So, like, it could be a lot. It could like, poor sleep could trigger it. Like, if you're not sleeping well, that could trigger craving sweets more than others. Not eating enough, like, protein and fats, and then, like, if you dive deeper, just, like, overall gut health, if things are imbalanced can play a role too, so
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
Now I'm not feeling as crazy.
No, you're
And I
not crazy,
feel
don't think you're crazy.
and I feel that's a good thought to start thinking about it. First of all, be more positive
Mhm.
and nice to yourself when you're having those because you're not abnormal. But also, too, of like you said, within moderation, having
Right.
those actual sweet treats because then you're not diving into, I can't even make up a brand right now, but
Yeah.
a bunch of
Like
the healthy versions
mhm.
versus just like one of the maybe not so
Right.
healthy. So, hmm,
Yeah, it kinda depends, but I did just make a really good brownie recipe
you
on
did.
my Instagram, so I can share it to you, and you can try it out and let me know if it's good enough.
Please do. I'm gonna be honest, you could probably send me any sweet thing, and I'd be like, "This is the best thing." But but I will try it. I will
Okay.
try it, and I know it'll be good already. Okay, so moving along with hormone and women's health, what are some signs that a woman's hormone might be off or their hormones might be off? Is it, cycle changes, recovery issues, mood shifts? What are you seeing more with the individuals you work with?
Yeah, I would say it's a lot of, like, irregular cycles, brain fog, people feeling, like, constantly cold, bloated, so kind of like a mix of things in that regard,
Mhm.
wired at night, like, they can't sleep at all, um, or, like, they wake up and they're super tired. So,
Mm,
more so just, like, restless sleep, um, bloating, brain fog, headaches, irregular cycles. I mean, there could be a lot that could be playing into it, but those are kinda
yeah,
like the main, like, 5 that I see a lot of people struggling with, acne, things of that nature, so,
gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. With being a woman, um, do you deal with or talk with individuals about adjusting training intensity across your cycle? And what's a way to maybe talk about it without making it so complicated? Because you can see videos and breakdowns on social media, or you're in this cycle, you're in this, and then it's just like,
Yeah.
do I work out or do I not?
Yeah, that's a hot take question right there.
Yeah.
There is a lot of popularity on, like, cycle tracking workouts.
Yes.
I personally, based off of my education and what I've learned, I don't. Like,
Mm,
if you're in your cycle, like, for someone like me and my cycle is always irregular, like, that's just not helping.
Yeah.
And, like, if you have the perfect 28-day cycle, okay, maybe do it.
Mhm.
And it depends your goals too, like, if you're just trying to not build much, not to be, like, mean or anything, but, like, if you're just trying to, like, keep it steady,
Yeah.
sure, like, track your cycles and match your workout intensity to it, but, like, in my
Mhm.
personal opinion, like, you know how your body feels, right? Like, I know the days I wake up and I just feel a little more tired, and I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm getting ready to start my period." Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? So, like, based off of how I feel, that's more so how I adjust my workouts and my training intensity, because if you do strength one day or one week
Yeah.
and then you do yoga for the next week and then you do running for the like, where are you progressing at? Like, how are you
Mm.
getting that overload and that stimulus to make gains?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, like, if you're, like, feeling really good and, like, I'm feeling great, like, "Okay, let's crush this week." Like, see how you feel. Then next week, if you're, like, more tired, okay, like, let's keep doing the same workout, but just ease back your intensity a little bit if you need, or make sure you're getting even better sleep, or you're eating like, you're fueling yourself better. Like, there's so many
Yeah.
other ways you can support yourself, I think, besides, like, making your workout so, like, cycle focused.
Mm.
That's
Okay.
that's just my and I could be wrong, like, that's just my research and my understanding and kinda how I learned, um, but
No,
that's just my
and
opinion.
I think your take on it also goes back to, what you believe in functional
Mhm.
health. It's, still staying consistent, but you also have to be where your body feels.
Right,
Your and somebody
100%.
else's is not going to be the same. We
Right,
can be
like, yeah.
similar,
Yeah.
but so no, that does make a lot of sense. Um, but still making sure that you're moving your body in some way. I like
Mhm.
this. I
Yeah,
like this.
yeah.
Okay. So after sports, as we know, your structure disappears and your body composition can change,
Mhm.
often changes.
Yeah.
What is your minimum effective dose strategy to get your metabolism back on track, or just something that you see? Because because I could talk about my own journey. I've had
Yeah.
the ups and downs. It's embarrassing.
All good.
But did you, you see something with yourself or the clients that you work with now?
Yeah, I would say taking a break, I think, is
Mm,
key. Like, give yourself time to, like, regroup and, like, let your body rest. Yes, during
yeah.
that time, will things change? 100%. I did that, and I remember my little brother being like, "Dude, why do you look different?" And I'm
Mm,
like, you're not competing at that same level anymore, like, it's
yeah.
just different, and it's okay, like, I don't think our bodies were designed to have that super high intensity, like, 3, 4-hour practices daily, like,
Right.
I don't think that's long-term beneficial, so, like, just giving yourself that grace period, and then afterwards, like, at least for me, I found it helpful to work with someone to help me, like, regain that structure,
Mhm.
like, another college athlete that had been through that, like, talking with someone that a mentor or whoever to, like, help you regain that structure of, like, "Okay, I'm gonna start back in, and I'm gonna do 3 workouts a week. I'm gonna feel my body," just like as you're playing, like, when you're playing a sport, you want most people wanna try to feel themselves to perform the best they can.
Yeah.
So I would say it's, like, the same thing in that sense of, like, you still wanna feel your best to perform well at whatever you're doing now. Um but yeah, it was definitely a journey for sure of just going in and out, and it was COVID when we both graduated, so, like, gym space was not there.
Not nothing.
Nothing. So, that I think that's just a whole other avenue to work through that's not happening anymore. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, just, like, that grace period I think is key, and then working with someone to kinda get yourself back in that groove of, "How do I build a schedule now?" I think. Otherwise, you just try to do it all by yourselves, and it's just hard.
That part, I'm pointing to Addison in this podcast right now because I think as soon as I was brave enough or vulnerable enough to say that I needed help in that
Mhm.
area, that's when it started, believe it or not, getting a
Mhm.
lot better.
Yeah.
Because, as former athletes, it can be embarrassing, or we
Mhm.
just think that we can handle it all on our own, or we're just not used to
100%.
asking for help. And so I mean, highs and lows, I got pictures to back it up. I was not eating enough unhealthily, but I thought, okay, I have to
Yeah,
obviously back off my calories a lot because
right.
I'm not burning thousands
Mhm,
in whatever every day. Okay. Well, now I'm kind of scared to look at myself. Okay. I need to eat a lot more. Now I'm eating way too much. I
mhm,
don't recognize myself. So it was those things where it was like, okay, I probably need to take a break, and then
yeah,
also, I need help.
yeah,
So, I think that
yeah,
is great advice.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And once you do it, you're like, "Wow, I'm not the only one in this." Like, it's
Yes.
it's, like, very freeing, and I get it, it's, totally scary too, but it's definitely freeing.
Yeah, and I think too, like you said, you know someone else is in it, and,
Mhm,
they're not gonna make you feel like the what you're thinking in your head is
right,
probably way worse. They're not gonna make you feel however you're feeling. It should be a safe space.
yeah,
So, don't be afraid to ask for help. Long
right.
story short.
Ditto.
With someone that feels like they're stuck with weight loss, is there some place that you look first with maybe your female clients?
Yeah, I would say if they're, like, stuck in weight loss, we could kinda go, like, old school in the sense of, like, write down a 3-day food journal and just let
Mhm.
me see where you're at because I think I don't wanna I hate stressing calories depending on, like, where you're at mentally with all of it, but I think
Yeah.
it's a good idea to get it on paper and be like, "Okay, this is what I'm eating," and I think there's valuable education in that too, because it provides a way to be like, "Oh, wow, I'm eating only 1,500 calories. My body's stuck, and even though I'm not eating enough, like, you're not also giving your body enough fuel to wanna lose weight either," right?
Yes. Yep.
Or you write it down, you're like, "Wow, I'm eating 3,000 calories, no wonder I can't lose weight." So, like, I think just a super simple, like, 3-day food journal is, like, a good starting spot for most people because then we
Mhm.
can work off of that and be like, "Okay, this is where we can progress from there." Um, and then just kinda, like, evaluating, like, their training aspect too. I think weight loss and working out is a good combination, but I think it more so relies on the nutrition aspect, and then, like, sleep is huge, and,
Mhm.
like, hydration. Like, I think weight loss and workouts is, like, 20%. 20% workouts and, like, weight loss is,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
80% everything else. So it's just, like, where else can we improve to see? So, yeah, that's
I
what
think
we
that's
focus on.
a good piece of advice too is it can seem like common sense now with maybe how much we have in education now and us just being
Mhm.
years out of sport, but you think probably in sport it's a little bit different because like fitness and being that is a huge part. And then you get out of sport and you realize, oh, well, you were just burning so many calories, it was going to be hard for you to keep on
Right,
regardless.
right.
Um, so much of it is nutrition and
Mhm.
sleep.
Yeah.
So once you get those things, at least recognizing maybe there's some things to fix,
Mhm.
I think, like you said, you're on the right track of other things will start falling into place.
Right,
But you can fix working out, okay, you can work out.
right.
Okay, you wanna see results, you might have to change some eating habits. And I think too with what you said with, um, the writing down
Mhm,
the 3 days of worth of meals too, you might also start seeing portion control, things like
mhm,
that of how much you're eating of something, and I think that was learning serving sizes
mhm.
and, uh okay, well, this looks like probably a portion for one, and you're just kinda eyeballing it,
Yeah.
and then you actually pour out a serving or you measure it and you're like, "Whoa, that is not a serving
Yeah,
size," or
yeah,
"That's
right,
not 1
right,
cup," or
right, right.
so I think that was also helpful for me to learn as well,
Mhm.
with afterwards.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's simple too, you just like, again, you just have to do it and ask for help, which is easier said than done, but
What role has vulnerability played in your growth as an athlete or as a professional?
hmm, that's a good one. I think it's like the tipping point, like, to actually make progress, like, if you're not vulnerable, like, you're not gonna tap out your potential, I guess. And it's probably the most hard things that you could do is be
Mhm.
vulnerable. Um, like, even right now, like, on the podcast, like, I'm I'm not, like, a very outspoken person by any means, so, like, this is
Yeah.
like, it's opening up the doors to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
But I think that's how you grow and that's how people hear your story and you connect, like, being in similar shoes with you and things of that nature. So, I think if you're not being vulnerable, I challenge you to be vulnerable. And that doesn't mean, like, go out and be vulnerable with the next person you meet on the street, like,
Right.
just, like, engage with the people you work with or, seek help and support that way too, but yeah, um, basketball-wise, I would say, like, vulnerability-wise of, like, stepping out and, like, asking my athletic trainer for help regarding my cycles, like, that's not a normal conversation you talk about with everyone.
Right,
Um,
right.
and yeah, and just, like, professionally wise, like, finding a mentor or someone that you work with that can lead you and, like, you can vulnerably express your experience and opinions with, so and where you're at, but yeah, it's huge.
I think so too. I talk about it a lot with what I do is when I first started this business 4 years ago, it was very surface level. It was
Mhm.
I know that life after sports can be hard for people, and we're here to help. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good mission in itself. But th- okay, like as
Yeah.
soon as I started sharing some of the experiences I was having and being able to open up about some of those not so cute, dark moments,
Mhm.
that's when people are like, "Oh, okay, she gets it. Like,
Yeah.
this makes sense now. Like, I know what you're saying now. I have
Yeah.
experienced that." And it was one of those things too where I was like, "There's no way I can talk about this," especially as a former athlete years ago. You didn't talk about kind of mental health. It was not really a
Right.
thing. You're
Mm.
fine. You're an athlete. You're tough enough to get through this.
Right, it was too
And
prideful.
yes. And so I was just like, there's no way I can really share what was going on. And then as soon as I was like, you're gonna stay stagnant, like no one um and that passion kicked in, was like, I know that I'm meant to do this. What and
Yeah.
as soon as I was like, okay, share it a little bit and a little bit more, and people were like, hey,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
this girl maybe knows a thing or two.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, it's crazy, like, you doing that, like, inspires me in a sense to continue being vulnerable on, like, social media because that's just how the you connect with people nowadays, so
Yeah.
it's hard, but I think it's huge. So, I
No, I
appreciate
liked
your vulnerability.
Thanks. I still
You're
need to hear
welcome.
it sometimes because 'cause I'll watch some of the things and I'm like, "You little cringe ball," and then I'm like,
Yeah.
"But that was really my story, and it's
Yeah.
okay," and I just don't look, and that's why I liked your page and wanted to reach out to you because, um, with your posts, you've shared stuff about what you've gone through as a woman, and
Mhm.
am glad that it's getting more and more talked about, but it still a lot of times can feel uncomfortable and you're just like, oh, is there something really, really wrong with me? Or I don't
Mhm.
know. And then, so I really enjoy the candidness that you do. And when you post
Thanks.
things and share a little bit about your story, 'cause I'm like, she knows, she
Yeah.
gets it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
and then don't get me started on the before you, like, share your befores and afters sometimes or things like that, and I'm like, "She's so brave." I'm
It's
like,
hard.
it is, it so is, and I'm like, I know it's me and I would know I help, but sometimes you're like, "Oh, I
Right,
can't do it."
right, right,
So, I
right.
love that I'm sure it's so hard for you to share those things, but it's just like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, first of all, you look great before and after, but
Oh, thank you.
you can definitely see the
Yeah,
difference and,
yeah.
like, it makes sense why you do what you do.
Right, right. No, I agree. Yeah. It's a challenge. I think privacy at some point is also key, but also, like, being vulnerable. It's a thin line. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
No,
yeah.
100%. You don't wanna share everything, and especially, yeah, like I said, not to a stranger or random person, but here and there, it's
Yeah.
okay. Let
Right,
that
right. You
guard
still
down.
wanna connect, for sure.
Okay, we have 2 things for you before we let you go. First is our fast break segment. As a basketball player, I'm sure you get that reference. They're rapid fire questions and no thinking, just have to answer. First
Got
thing
it.
on your brain. The pregame meal when you were an athlete versus, like, your favorite thing to eat before or after workout now?
Yeah, pregame meal as an athlete, we always had to eat chicken and mashed potatoes and broccoli before every game. Let me just throw that out there.
Mm, okay.
Um, Pregame meal now or, like, pre-workout meal now is, like, banana. Solid. That's all I need.
Gotcha. All right. Hardest workout you've ever done? Was it in sports or your life now?
I would say in sports, running on the track, hated it. Don't like it. I will never run on a track again.
Don't bring up those memories, Addison. Okay. Coffee or pre-workout?
Coffee.
Get behind that. One non-negotiable, you know what I meant, daily
Yes.
habit.
Hydration, water.
Good one. Hidden talent people might not know about you.
I like to wake surf. It's like boating, skiing, and surfing.
How cool. Getting up on those things is nearly impossible for me.
You can do
All
it.
right. Quote you still hear from a coach.
Just get it done. That's all I hear. Figure it out.
That's good. Figure it out. Okay. Fill in the blank. We are not done because
We have a greater mission. Wow.
that is good. Mic drop.
Thank you. We're
All
done.
right. Last question for you. I asked my guests for the athletes who are listening who might be transitioning with sports, what is the most honest advice you could give them or you'd want them to hear?
Yeah. I would say, like, start talking to people, like, find a former college athlete, someone in your circle, and, like, just ask them to, like, help you through that transition. That's what I would say is just, like, having that person, like, I didn't really have that person, so if you can find someone, whether even if you, like, reach out to me on social media or if you're open, like, just find
Yeah.
someone that can help guide you through that period, and then I know it's kind of oversaid, but, like, just give yourself grace to adapt because it takes time and, like, I'm sure you know, like, even once you adapt to that, like, adult life changes again too. So, like, you're constantly figuring out how to adapt to new situations, so just mastering that grace period, I think is key. So,
Thank you so much, Addison,
yeah,
for being on here today. You were great, and I learned so much.
yeah. Well, I
That's why I like
appreciate
you
that.
guys. A little bit smarter than me, so I get to leave with
No.
some information there.
Yeah, yeah, you're good.
Get to
But
take from you guys.
yeah.
If you enjoyed episodes like this, make sure you hit that notification and like and subscribe, and we will be back.